Sup y'all, welcome back to the Lil Maguizy channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a man in a metal suit, a soldier with a shield, a god, a big giant green monster, a woman with guns, a man with a bow and arrow, a woman who can make weird red stuff with her hands, and she can like control minds, a discount version of the Flash, and a giant pink android who shoots lasers. Let's do it, shall we? Avengers Age of Ultron, starring Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner the Hulk, Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Clint Barton, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch, Aaron Taylor Johnson as Pietro Maximoff / Quicksilver, Paul Bettany as The Vision, James Spader as Ultron, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Wow. So this shit starts off with the Avengers infiltrating a Hydra base because they stole Loki's scepter. So they go and get that back, and then Wanda and Pietro, they come out and they go on to hide and they attack the Avengers, and Hawkeye gets shot. And apparently Black Widow can calm Hulk down, revert him back to Bruce. I have a feeling in the first movie when she's seen him turn into the Hulk in the helicarrier, that's when she fell in love with him. Just saying. And so then back at the tower, they heal Hawkeye, and Tony and Bruce decide to make this like AI thing. They decide to make like another version of Jarvis. Meanwhile, it's complete, but the AI that they created corrupts Jarvis. And they're having a party, and Rhodey's there, and Sam Wilson's there, which is cool, and they're not even. And they try to lift up Thor's hammer, and they all try to do it. Don't work, and Thor's like, "You're not worthy," and then an unfinished Ultron comes and ruins everything, and then the party's ruined. And then for some reason Tony Stark laughs because like he built the program and they're trying to kill him. And so meanwhile, Wanda and Pietro are walking around. They go inside a chapel and they find Ultron, and they start to work with him. And then she's like, "We wait for 2 days for Tony Stark to kill us." That was my best accent. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm being racist. And so the Avengers do some shit, and they go to this base, and we find this guy called Ulysses Claw, and then Wanda and Pietro run in and, ruin that, and Ultron comes and cuts off and just rips off his arm. And then Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk comes and they do some shit. They attack them, and Bruce is just hiding outside, and he's like, "Guys, is this a code green?" And then Wanda like mind controls them. And she tries to mind control Hawkeye, but he's done the whole mind control thing and he's not a fan. And then Pietro's like, "You didn't see that coming?" Well, he says that in the beginning, I just forgot to say that. And then, meanwhile, they, possess Hulk, and then he, they possess Bruce and he becomes Hulky and destroys an entire city. And then Iron Man comes with this new armor called the Hulkbuster, when there's something green in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? Oh. Excuse me. Hulkbuster! And so Eventually they stop, and then Hawkeye flies them to this house, and it turns out that that's actually Hawkeye. Hawkeye has a family, he has a wife, two children, and one on the way. And they're literally setting this up like he's gonna die. And so Ultron, Wanda, and Pietro are, doing shit, and they try to create another body of Ultron. And then Wanda, she can feel it going into mind, and turns out that not only is Ultron planning to destroy the Avengers, but he's also trying to create global extinction. And so they run off, they leave Ultron behind. And then Hawkeye, Captain America, and what's her name? Black Widow comes, and then Ultron confronts Captain America, and then Wanda and Pietro, they come and stop him. And then Black Widow's takes the new Ultron and gives him to Hawkeye, but Black Widow gets kidnapped. She's like the damsel in distress. And so then Tony and Bruce are just sitting there asking about how, if they're gonna put Jarvis in this thing, they're gonna like reprogram Jarvis into the body. And then Cap's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And then they all start an argument, and then Thor comes out of nowhere and just uses his hammer and creates Vision. And they all stop and they're looking at awe, and then Vision's like, I'm sorry, that was odd. And he also lifts up Thor's hammer and just gives it to him. And then they go off and to defeat Ultron. And Bruce saves Black Widow. And then they share a kiss. That's right, they kiss now, they're in love. And then Natasha pushes Bruce off the thing, and then he turns into the Hulk. And then boom. And they go join them. And then, they all start evacuating people and stuff, and then Cap and Romanoff is like, this is a good view. I want to stay here. And then some guy's like, glad you like the view, Romanoff. It's about to get better. Nick Fury shows up in the helicarrier, finds an old one, even though in the Winter Soldier they were all kind of destroyed. They're all kind of destroyed. And then they decide to send these rescue copters to the hostages, and they bring them back in the boats. And then War Machine comes, Rhodey comes and joins them. And then, they go inside the church, and then they go in battle, and Rhodey makes sure everyone is on the helicarrier because he's not that cool enough to be there. And so they're all there. It's like a shot in the first movie. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision. They all battle all the Ultron drones. And then Iron Man, Vision, and Thor, they blast them with their blasty powers. And then Ultron's like, with the benefit of hindsight, then Hulk just punches him. So, and then Hulk and Black Widow, they go and have a moment. And then Quicksilver comes and he's like, I'm not going to leave you here. And then, Quicksilver, he runs to get the other people on the boats, and then Scarlet Witch is just sitting there destroying all the Ultron bots. She's just doing that. She's quite useless, to be honest. But she's going to be very useful eventually. And then Hawkeye, he gets the people on the boats, and then he sees a wee lad, he sees a wee boy, and then he saves him, and then Ultron is inside a jet and starts shooting at people. And then Hawkeye's like, I think it's his time to die. So, you know what I mean? They set it up. They set it up like he's gonna die. He's got a family. He's got a wife, 2 children, one on the way, and they're setting it up like he's gonna die. So I think it might happen. But before it happens, Quicksilver, he sees what's happening and then he runs, and then just before the gun starts shooting at him, Quicksilver runs in front of them, and yeah, so he doesn't die. But Quicksilver's like, you didn't see that coming, and then he dies. R.I.P. And then Wanda's like, no, and then destroys every single one of the Ultron bots. I feel bad for Wanda though. She's never gonna. She's sad for like 2 seconds and then she gets over it. I'm not joking, she doesn't even mention him at all in like any of the future movies. And then Hulk jumps in the Quinjet and sees Ultron, throws him out, and Hulk's just sitting in the Quinjet, flying away. Yeah, and so Hawkeye is in the boat, Captain America's in the boat, Thor and Iron Man destroy Sokovia, because like, it's miles above the ground. It's not like they can put it back in like a puzzle piece. But don't worry, everyone's safe. At least the ones that are alive. But the ones that are dead, their body, I'm not gonna. You know. So that's that done. And so Hulk is just in the helicarrier and Black Widow sends a message and he turns it off and Hulk's just sitting there, just gliding away. That's it. And meanwhile, Hawkeye, he goes to his house and retires with his family. Yeah. And so they have a new Avengers base. It's like an Avengers compound, and Iron Man and Stark and Thor and Cap are just walking like, I'm gonna miss these little talks about us. So Thor leaves and goes back up to Asgard. Tony goes into his orange car and drives off. And then Black Widow is just looking at a wall, and Nick Fury's like, you know, I think Hulk made a splashdown in Fiji or something like that. And then he's like, trouble, Miss Romanoff. No matter who wins or loses, trouble still comes around. And so Captain comes and sees, okay, he's gonna... And then Captain and Black Widow, they come, and there's like, let's beat him into shape. And by that, he means there's a whole new team of Avengers. Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, and Falcon. So it is now Captain America, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, and Falcon. And then Captain's like, Avengers, and then the movie ends. After credit scene time, there's a gauntlet, and then something opens, and then a hand comes into the gauntlet, and he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. It's Thanos. Also, the credits like a statue of all the Avengers. Yeah, there's only one after credit scene here. Overall thoughts. I mean, like, it's the first one I've seen in the cinema. So, I'd say it's pretty good. It's not like groundbreakingly good, but it's good. It's just good. That's all I can say about it. It's just good. Anyway, so I'll see you next time where we take a look at a man who can shrink. Goodbye.